Welcome you all. Welcome you all to the session of humorous speech contests. Do you believe that laughter a day keeps all the problems or at least some problems away? Yes? No? Today's session is all about bringing back the fun and the laughter to our Toastmasters journey. Almost after 2 years, the District 98 is introducing or reintroducing the humorous speech contest. Tell me something. How many of you found that humor makes tough situations a little easier to handle? Raise your hand. A little easier? Yes? Exactly. Because humor isn't about making people laugh. It is a very powerful tool for reducing any form of stress, relationship, workplace, and build stronger connection with others. Now, take a moment and think about the last time you had a great laugh, be it at work, be it with your friends, your family, or amongst yourself. Didn't it feel like a weight was lifted? Because that's the magic of humor. It helps us bond with ourselves, with our family, with our colleagues, makes our communication more memorable, and lightens the mood even in challenging times. Before I begin, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I want all of you to respond or type in the chat box. First, who is your favorite comedian? Can be any language. Who is your favorite comedian? You can unmute and answer or write in the chat box. Johnny Lever, Harsh Gujral, Kapil Sharma, Vipul Goyal. All right. Great. Do we have more? Charlie Chaplin. Wonderful. Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean. Yes, Charlie Chaplin. Okay. Number 2. Which is your favorite comedy or humorous movie? Again, any language. Tom and Jerry. Oh, yeah. Which is your favorite comedy movie or humorous movie? Andaz Apna Apna. Fir Hera Feri, all the Hera Feris. Hera Feri, Golmaal Part 1. Welcome. Johnny English, Angur, Hera Feri again. Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, Golmaal Hoye. They're all so classics, I'm sure. Dum Laga Ke Aisha. Oh, yes. All right, I think there's a non-stop list. And the last. Which type of comedy do you prefer to have in your speeches or the genre of movie you would like to watch, if you know the type of comedy or humor that is there? Which one do you prefer? British comedy, sitcom. Oh, yes. Clean. Sitcom, for those who don't know, is a situational comedy which happens based on situations or circumstances that happen around us. All right. Family friendly. Yes, that's which is universal to watch and easy at heart. Wonderful. Thank you, Pooja. Well, when I asked the same questions to our today's speaker, guess what he responded? His favorite comedian is his mother. And guess why? Because she often told him things like study hard, eat less. These things made him wonder that my mom is his favorite comedian. Second, when I asked him what is his style of comedy or humor, is self-depreciating. And third, his favorite comedic movie is, any guess what would his favorite comedy movie would be or humorous movie would be? Any guess what you think? It's very simple. He said it's his life. Exactly, Shashank. Thank you. He said it's his life. It's his favorite comic movie. I'm sure he's just joking, or I'm sure perhaps he's not. Today's speaker is a seasoned professional with a rich background in behavioral training, coupled with the esteemed title of Distinguished Toastmaster. With 9 years of experience in Toastmasters, he has not only served as the past president and past area director, but has also chartered the Backpackers Toastmasters Club. In 2023, he claimed the title of Humorous Speech Champion for District 125 and was the first runner-up evaluation contest. a 2 times Tall Tales winner. He has also competed at the district level in both table topics and international speech contest. And not just that. His dedication to excellence is further demonstrated by his 7 Triple Crown Awards and being named the 2023 Toastmaster of the Year for District 125. Oof, this was not a joke. Ladies and gentlemen, and dear Toastmasters and distinguished guests, with a huge round of virtual applause, please let's welcome our speaker, the session presenter for today, a behavioral trainer and entertainer, distinguished Toastmaster, Joe R. Joe, the stage is all yours. Joe, we can't hear you.
That's because I was not speaking. I caught all of you. We have already learned the first trick in the humorous speech, the opening. You need to get your audience attention in the right first few seconds. Right? So it was not like I was unmuted, I was just pretending to speak. In fact, even this I have to practice, like pretending to speak. It is wonderful to see. Let me see how many of them are. There are 73, including me, here on the Sunday evening, first night. I mean, first September night. But I like the way of thinking. I've been told that. Okay, I see a message. The voice is slow. Is it? Is it not loud enough? Is it better? No.
No, can be a little bit.
Okay. How is it now? Better? Okay, great. Thank you for the information. So I've been told that District 98, after 2 years, we are doing the humorous speech contest. So I've been also told like probably some of them would have participated in humorous speech earlier before these 2 years. Some of them might not even know what is a humorous speech contest. So I will take this session in a way that you get bits and pieces of what the humorous speech is and also techniques on how to draft and deliver this humorous speech. So in a one-line summary, I would like to give you a definition of what is a humorous speech if you're just wondering what is a humorous speech. But before we get to there, I think Aarti tried her best asking everyone to keep the video on. I'm just guessing all those who are with the video off probably are having your dinner, right? Just guessing. So if it's wrong, you'll have to prove me wrong. If you're not having a dinner, you'll have to prove me wrong. I can see, thankfully. See, that was just a small trick to turn a few more videos on. Now they're proving that they're not having their dinner by turning their video on. Okay. I would have loved this event physically happening right in front of you because for a humorous speech or a contest or an education session, it is wonderful to see the reactions, right? So that is what actually keeps the speaker keeps going. And in a virtual event, if you don't get to see the reactions, it is kind of like you're actually talking to the laptop, right? So the laptop is not reacting also. It is just sitting there right in front of you. So and it's not an education session on a Sunday night, right? On the first day of the day, I don't want to bore you with an education session. Instead, let's keep it like a workshop, an interactive session, right? So wherever possible, there'll be questions asked. You can actually unmute and speak. Don't worry about the protocols of raising your hands and then asking. You just can unmute and ask your questions. And wherever required, if you're thinking that, okay, that's a Sunday evening, it's an education session, all I need to do is just join the meeting and just listen to one bald guy. No, you're not just going to listen. You're going to participate. You're going to think. That is how this will be. That's why I'm calling it as a workshop and not an education session. Okay. Now going back to the definition of a humorous speech. My own definition. It's not there in any books or in the Toastmasters rule book. A humorous speech is something which, if you tell your friends or your Toastmaster club members that if you're going to deliver a humorous speech, they will laugh. But when you deliver the speech, nobody will laugh. No, I was just joking. They will laugh if you have the right jokes, right? So we will look into how to have those right jokes, right techniques to make sure that they will laugh when we deliver the speech also. Okay. Before we look into those techniques, I'll share my screen where I'll take you through a few techniques. And that is the theory part of it. We will also spend some time where I will show or showcase that winning speech, 2023 winning speech, through which we will actually, whatever we learn theoretically, we will decode those techniques while watching the video. So that is how the session is planned. So you will also get a practical exposure of it. I will also share examples. People often ask when I go for education session, can you give me the winning formula for a humorous speech? So I tell them, once you win, whatever you say is the winning formula. Right? So right now, today, that is what is going to happen. No, just joking. These are just some tips and tricks which I have tried and tested. This is not the only way. This is just out of my experience, right? So which you could also try. Okay. So here is the first question. When it comes to humorous speech contest, right? Some of you might be aware, some of you might not be aware, but in general, when it comes to humor, forget contest. In general, when it comes to humor, what do you think would be the most challenging part? You can unmute and say, or you can put it in the chat box. The most challenging part in terms of humor, according to you, not in general, what do you feel? Don't think too much, then you'll be like me. Just whatever comes randomly on your mind. Don't think too much. Ameda, you just can unmute and speak or put in the chat box. Don't need to raise your hands.
So I think it's to tell jokes without hurting people.
Wonderful. So without offending someone, right? And if there are some answers in the chat box, finding out what works, like what is actually a humor, what kind of a proper jokes works, being spontaneous. And so we say that even for table topics, a bit of table topics comes into that. To come up with a joke which will make others laugh. Of course, joke means it should make others laugh.
Something that
The
everybody can relate.
self-deprecation joke, is something which everyone can relate. So universal jokes, right? So set up. I will crack a joke, but not sure whether the audience will laugh. That is a challenge all of us will have in our mind. Punchlines, yes, solid punchlines. We will look into all this. It should come naturally. Yes, for some it is natural. For some, we might have to practice to make it look natural. Having a message, right, in a funny way. Okay, so that is another interesting aspect and concern that is up to likings of the audience. Yes, how you will have a connect with the audience. Great. All this we will understand or will learn in today's session as we go through. There are a few myths when it comes to humorous speech contests. First, let's break those myths. Right? So many of us think that there isn't anything humorous happening in my life. How can I deliver a humorous speech? Anybody thinks like that? Often I come across Toastmasters saying that there isn't anything humorous happening in my life. Right? I can see a lot of reactions. So how do I deliver a speech there? There is nothing humorous happening in my life. Okay. So for that, I will take you to international speech contest to understand the concept and then come back to humorous speech contest. If you know international speech contest, if you have listened to or if you have participated in international speech contest, often there is a trend. If you look at it, the purpose, like humorous speech, the purpose is to entertain the audience, make the audience laugh. Similarly, for international speech contest, the purpose is to create an impact or let's say have an emotion, bring in an emotion in the audience, right? So many of them pick to bring that emotion, they will share a loss in their life, especially their loved one. Let's say in the speech, they may talk about losing their mother or let's say their parents or let's say the brother or a good friend. So that is kind of a trend in many international speech contests. So for many years, I never participated in international speech contest. Do you know why? Because I was waiting for somebody to die in my family so that I can participate in international speech contest. No, just joking. So like that, if you're waiting for something humorous to happen in your life to participate in humorous speech contest, it will never happen. In fact, every day, every moment, there is something happening around us. You will never get a 7-minute speech in front of you. That will never happen. It will be just a one conversation or just one small incident, which would be like for 30 seconds. You will have to build it into a 7 minutes speech, right? So just that we are too busy and we tend to ignore these things, or probably we don't even notice that these are a little humor. It could be a conversation with the cab driver, or let's say it could be something happening in your Toastmasters meeting, at your family, at your work. Just it could be just anything. We just later I will also share a couple of topics on what I have delivered over the years that would also give you a hint to what you could think of. Okay. So with that myth broken, let's get into the session where I will take you through just to share. There's a video also, so let me share. It's the sound. Okay, so hope you are able to see my screen. Let's get just joking. Okay. Earlier, I gave you the definition of a humorous speech contest. So just to let you know, it is not as difficult as this, and it is not as easy as this, right? So that's the reason we have a session today, to know what actually need to be there in a humorous speech contest. Usually, I share the judges' ballot at the end of my session on how in a contest you are actually judged. But since I understand that humorous speech contest is happening here after almost 2 years, so I thought first let's talk about the judges' ballot, and then we will get into the techniques. So this is the ballot or the judges' ballot, where though we often say, please don't judge others. If you're a contestant, you will be definitely judged, at least by some 6 or 7 judges. 55 marks are for the content, the speech development. It should be something original, right? And it should have and connect with the audience, and logical form. It is not a stand-up comedy where you just share series of one-liners. It is a speech. It should be like a story. How you a proper transition, a story, proper opening, a closure, all that is looked into. The content plays a big role, 55 marks. And then 30 marks is for the speech delivery in terms of your appearance, your body language, your voice, vocal variety, humorous speech, apart from the script. Though the marks is 30, I would say it plays a huge role when it comes to humorous speech, because you got to be a little more dramatic, little more animated when it comes to a humorous speech. And of course, language, the kind of word jokes in the words, right? The right appropriate grammar and all that also plays a role, which is for around 15 marks. So this is how you'll be judged. So which means 2 critical areas which you need to work on is the script. So that is a 7-minute speech. For those again who are not aware, it's a 5 to 7-minute speech, humorous speech contest. So you will have to speak at least for 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And if you exceed 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you're disqualified. So ideally, prepare your speech for around 6 minutes, 30 seconds. That's a safe zone. And I will also share later, like why it is 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So the script plays an important role, because that is what will have all the jokes, the story, the entire transition, everything would be there, which is supported by the body language, the gestures, the voice, or even your attire, right? So that is also a few examples which we will see later. Having said this, to break the myth about humorous speech contest, where I said you got to be a little more dramatic, animated. Even I wasn't a speaker like that. 8, 9 years back when I started my Toastmasters journey, I thought I'm a great humorous speaker because I had a wonderful script, a lot of jokes. Club level contest, I went and delivered my speech. I didn't win. I came second. I was kind of disappointed. And there were these Toastmaster friends who came and told me that it was a wonderful speech, a lot of jokes. But for a humorous speech, you need to be a little more animated. You need to be a little more dramatic. Seriously, me being dramatic, the only thing I do on the stage is speak. I can't sing, I can't dance. People say dance like nobody's watching. If I dance, even I can't watch. That's how it is. So I can't do anything on the stage other than speaking. So me being dramatic and acting, and I almost gave up. That's when I came through this motivational video. I'm sure this motivational video will inspire you also. The moment I say Rahul Dravid, what comes to your mind? Not about cricket, but in terms of he as a person, what comes to your mind? You can unmute and share. Rahul Dravid as a person.
Calm, cool,
Cool, calm, and
composed.
composed.
Nice. Perfect. Let watch.
When you pay your credit card bills on Cred, you earn Cred coins. Use them to claim cashback and rewards. I know this sounds ridiculous.
It's like saying Rahul Dravid has anger issues.
Hey! That doesn't mean you can overtake. Come, man. Come. You come, man. What are you Hey!
Could have gone straight and taken it.
इंदिरानगर का गुंडा हूँ मैं.
If Rahul Dravid can do it, I can also do it. I decided. Okay. So I decided I will also try to be animated. The best part is we have Toastmasters as a platform where you can actually, you don't wait for the contest. Now we are talking about humorous speech contest because it's happening after 2 years. Trust me, in districts where there are humorous speech contests also, it will happen once in a year only. Ideally, it starts in the month of August. So everybody suddenly, when it becomes August and September, they want to be humorous. After that, they don't want to be. How is that possible? It's like going to a gym for 1 day and expecting 6 packs, right? So my message is use humor in every meeting of yours, not just speech. Did you hear that? I didn't say every speech of yours, every meeting. It could be a role which you're playing, Toastmaster of the day, timer, accountant, grammarian. Try use humor, right? You will get to see what is working, what is not working for you, what comes naturally for you, what is clicking, what is not clicking. Try to have some humor in every speech of yours. Table topics, even evaluation. One Toastmaster delivered a speech about his wife, how much he misses his wife. That was the whole speech about. When I came up for the evaluation, I said, Toastmaster X, like you would deliver such a wonderful speech about your wife. It was so inspirational that even I started missing your wife. Just joking. So you can just use humor everywhere, anywhere. Don't wait for August and September just for a couple of every meeting of us. And in fact, every speech of us. Okay. So here is a simple activity we can do. If you're thinking, what can be my topic? Where can my topic come from?
When you pay your
Remember this childhood activity which we do, name, place, activity. Right? So like there is an activity or a fun activity which we do, right? They're just using the same trick to just decode that. For freshers who are brand new, who are not even written their first humorous speech, this is something you can do. What I mean by name are characters. It is not a one-liner. It is not a stand-up comedy. Do you know what is the difference between stand-up comedy and a humorous speech contest in Toastmasters? Let's clear that also, right? Because you shouldn't go onto the stage and deliver a stand-up comedy. What is the difference? Stand-up comedy and humorous speech contest? Anybody? If you can unmute and share. I would love if you unmute and speak because since I'm sharing the screen, it's kind of difficult to check in the chat box.
Message.
Stand-up comedy is something like a series of multiple jokes, but it cannot be. It can be correlated. It cannot be correlated. Like mix.
Maybe
of
just
jokes.
a series of one-liners not connected to each other. There is no story there.
Humorous speech will have a story, a start, beginning, and end, just like a speech, and also some takeaway. But in that, it will be humor will be spread all over the speech.
Perfect. Additionally, in just one line again summary, in Toastmasters, we don't speak about sex, politics, and religion, right? In stand-up comedy, they speak only about that. And what is the kind of fun that they use? Poke fun at others, right? Maybe at an individual or at a particular community, a religion. That is how they poke fun. Here, if we try to do that, it might offend the audience. So instead, that is the reason we heard it earlier also, self-deprecating humor is the best thing. I'm cracking fun at myself. So what is happening here? When I say I'm cracking fun about myself, I am one of the main characters in my speech. Agreed? So you should be there in the speech. So when you're there, you're not the only person there in the speech. There should be some characters. It's a story, right? Are you the only person in the world and then cracking this humorous speech? No. There are a couple of characters around you who are there in the script, in the speech, in your 7 minutes movie. It could be your sister, friends, wife, husband, boss. These are the characters. So you need to have a couple of characters. So based on these characters, the characters, right? So this will be based on the speech, or let's say the theme you pick up. We will get into the theme. Place. Where is this happening? Let's say you went to a restaurant, or it could be in a theater, or at office, or you're traveling. It could be a marriage, right? You're attending somebody's marriage, or it's your own marriage. This could be the scenario. And activity. What can be the activity, right? Your cooking experience, right? The first time you cooked something, right? Watching a scary movie, or let's say being embarrassed in the office, your boss, right? Traveling with a cranky co-passenger, your wedding, somebody's wedding. It could be just anything around us can be a topic actually. So with these thoughts, now I would like to see from you. You can unmute and say or put it in the chat box. What do you think right now is running in your mind, which can be your humorous speech concept? In just one line, what do you think can be your humorous speech contest with whatever we discussed so far? And this name, place, activity which I shared, just think of something random. It's okay, whatever comes to your mind. A theme for your humorous speech contest.
Dodging Monday blues.
Monday blues, perfect. Can just answer me this? I mean, rest of you. Do you think everybody will be able to relate to this?
Are very low charge. I've kept them for charging.
Was that a topic?
Auntie, why do you need phone line?
I thought that was also a topic. Battery low. Can be, correct. Monday morning blues. Everybody goes through, right? Whether you're working, whether you are in school, college, everybody relates to classroom jokes, okay? So, and again, these are not one-liners about this concept. You're going to share a story. The way parents do project for children, okay? So parents' life project is actually for children, but then the parents end up doing it, right? Delightful biryani cooked by my wife, which I pretended to be tasty, okay? Probably it's tomato rice, which is pretending as biryani, okay? It could happen. Nice. So we could already see a few thoughts here. So let me share a couple of topics which I have been delivering in the last 8-9 years, which will give you a little bit of insight that how anything under that can be a topic. I have the habit of forgetting. So I often forget things. So I delivered an entire speech, a full length 7-minute speech on the concept is forgetting. Okay. We can see some more answers. Chasing my dress code, changing, right? Dress code from sari to new gen, okay? Something to do with attire. I had a similar speech like that. I had to attend a Onam festival celebration wearing dhoti. So I'm wearing dhoti for the very first time. And I was asked to sit on the floor and have the food. So all the challenges, I literally delivered this speech sitting on the stage, sitting, entire 7-minute speech was sitting on the floor wearing the dhoti. So my struggle with food and versus dhoti. Finally, what wins, dhoti or food? That is how the speech was. Something unexpected happens, turns out to be funny. Okay, that's Subhashini kind of too generic. You got to maybe get too more specific that what is, let's say that unexpected. Is it like at office or work, or let's say you're taking a cab, client negotiation meeting, okay? So wonderful. Was trying to strong an arm. Okay. I thought that was also a topic. So here are some of the topics which I have used. I shared one, my habit of forgetting. Okay. Online meeting. I was attending an online meeting with the video off, and I was happily having a cheesy, juicy burger. And all of a sudden, there was a evaluator dropout, and I was asked, Toastmasters, could you evaluate this contestant? I mean, evaluate the speaker. I turned the video on to see myself where my entire beard is fully covered in cheese, and I need to now deliver the evaluation. That was the entire 7-minute speech. So where I use the concept of burger itself for the evaluation. So that is how it was. My name, if you see, thanks to Toastmasters and thanks to the fact that I became a distinguished Toastmaster, I can probably say that my name a little longer right now. Otherwise, if you look at it, it is just 3 letters, J-O-E. That's it. I can see a lot of wonderful names here, and with long names here with a lot of maybe 2 words, 3 words. I can understand if your name has been misspelled or you have been called in a different name, there is a logic to it. But imagine my name, people making mistakes in my name, possible? It has happened. Okay. So I delivered an entire 7-minute speech on how my name has been damaged. Again, not series of one-liners, but a story out of that. How, because of how my name is being called in a wrong way, what I went through. Hair loss has been a lot of, there are multiple topics, speeches with a theme. Keeping the theme as hair loss, I have delivered multiple stories out of that. And acronyms. So this is another concept which I wanted to share. Probably out of nowhere, you can even think of concept like this. We all love to use acronyms, right? These abbreviations. So I delivered an entire speech like how I went for a training session where there was an over usage of acronyms and how it turned out to be funny. So these were some of the topics which I wanted to share to just make you think that anything around us can be a topic. Later, when we look into the techniques, I will also use these topics to share like how and what did I use for these topics, what techniques, how did I use the techniques? That is the way we look at it. So quickly, let's look at what are the elements needed for a humorous speech contest. To win a humorous speech contest, all you need is me, Joe. That's it. If you have me there, you can win. No, just joking. This is just like that. Another acronym. Jokes. Yep, they refers to the jokes. Definitely, you need to have a lot of jokes. You have 7 minutes with you, right? Divided into 1 minute each. How many laughter moments can you give them each minute? That is how we'll have to work or place on our jokes. We will look into how to create these jokes, but I'm talking about the placement of the jokes. There are speeches where I have heard the first 2-3 minutes, lot of jokes, and post that it's just nothing. It just falls flat. Or probably initially the first 2-3 minutes there is nothing, and then later it picks up. Instead, divide it into 1 minute each. Every 1 minute, there should be enough jokes for audience laughter, jokes and the laughter moments. So when I say this, not 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 30 seconds, right? So when I say this 6 minutes, 30 seconds, divide that into further way, opening and ending 30 seconds each. This is very, very powerful. Nobody is going to remember your entire speech. They will remember the last few thoughts, the ending message you left them with, the opening you had with. Later, when I show you this winning speech in 2023, post that I will share, because now if I reveal it will break the suspense. I will tell you, 1 year later, in the next Toastmasters conference, when it happened, there were a couple of Toastmasters who mentioned a few lines from that speech, which I delivered a year back. Okay, so that I felt was a bigger cherishing moment than even winning the trophy. So somebody can remember your speech, a few lines from the speech, even after a year. That is the impact you have created. So need to have a great opening and need to have a great ending. We will look into a few examples. And like how we spoke about being animated, it's not just your script. Every cell of your body need to speak. Your eyes, nose, ears, kidney, liver, everything need to speak. Right? So that is how we need to, so that you can get your audience. And the main purpose of delivering the humorous speech contest is to entertain your audience. When you're preparing your speech, when you're rehearsing, you can think of winning. But on that stage, that 7 minutes, think only of entertaining your audience. You have 7 minutes with you. how much can I entertain my audience? That is all you'll have to think of. You got to enjoy that 7 minutes. A few support materials. We Indians love doing jugads, right, for everything. So here are a few techniques, how we can do it. Power of pauses. Just before you deliver that key word in your sentence, that joke, you got to give them a little bit of a pause. After the joke, you got to give them a couple of seconds of a fraction of a seconds of a pause for them to actually let that joke sink, let them enjoy, let them laugh. And if in case they're laughing, give them that moment to laugh. I've seen a lot of speakers who rush into the next sentence. They might miss out listening to your next few words of the next sentence, right? So give them that moment. Use pauses powerfully. I will share a few examples once we look into all the techniques. A descriptive comparison. Now, I earlier mentioned that we need to talk about, there are characters in our speech, right? Let's say there is a mother or there is a boss. Do the audience, have they seen your boss or your mother or husband or wife? No, right? They have not seen them. So you got to give them a descriptive comparison or describe them in a way that they'll be able to relate that. They'll be able to see, visualize that when you're delivering the speech, it will run like a movie in their mind. Suspense. We are talking about a story. Who would not love a twist in the story? A climax, right? Where you're taking or building it to something where everybody expecting that this is what is going to happen, and finally you give a twist to the story. Definitely that also sparks humor. Wordplay. Being in Toastmasters, we also saw on the judges ballot 15 marks are for the language which you use. So if you come up with jokes which has jokes based on the words, right? The wordplay, I'll share a few examples. That also adds a lot of weightage. And the technique or the concept which you can use is self-deprecation, which means you're cracking jokes on yourself. Now, we have been doing this right from our childhood days, right? Tell me, frankly, you and your friend are walking and he or she accidentally trips down and falls. What is your first reaction? Honest. First reaction. Laugh, right? And then we'll probably give a helping hand. So this is what you'll have to remember. This is my own one-liner. If you put yourselves down on the stage, the audience will go up for you, clapping, cheering for you. So put yourselves down. You will get a trophy at the cost of making fun at yourself, right? Or on yourself. So which is okay for you, right? So you can crack jokes and nobody will get offended. Imagine calling someone in the audience fat or let's say bald versus I tell that I am bald. There is a difference, right? I crack jokes about like why I go through this. It's fun for others. If I point at someone else and say that, it is offending. So this is the thin line. So you crack jokes at yourself. The most important thing, this comes at the end actually. Like after your entire speech is ready, you need to come up with a crazy title. It's a humorous speech. Contestants will often say that your speech will begin when you utter the first word or your first action. But I say your speech begins even before that, when your title is shared. Again, my favorite one-liner which I come up with. Titles can win you titles. Your speech title can win you the humorous speech title. So that is how powerful it should be. Reference to Toastmasters. 99% of your audience are going to be Toastmasters. Any jokes which you crack related to Toastmasters, it's going to be a fresh new joke. This is not available in WhatsApp or any internet, right? ChatGPT will not give you these jokes. So it will be fresh new jokes everybody will relate to and they will love to. And support materials, you got to use props if it's necessary for the speech, not just for forcing it, but it should also be like a character in your speech. Even the attire you wear, it should be like a part of your speech. All this put together is how we come up with a wonderful speech. Now, going back to a couple of examples which I shared, we will just see how this, in this techniques that speech was used, and then we will look into the winning speech. Now, let's go back to that speech which I mentioned about forgetting. Okay. Now, I've been talking for a long time, so I will open the questions now. Open it for your interaction now. I'm going to deliver a speech about my habit of forgetting. Okay. Any thoughts? What could be the opening line? I said the opening first, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, very critical. You need to open with a bang. So any thoughts, instant thoughts? I'm going to deliver a speech about my habit of forgetting. I keep forgetting things. An opening line, if you could think of instantly, anything, whatever. I mean, again, don't think too much and lose hair. Okay, so I'm getting there. You can unmute and speak. I would love it. Okay, I forgot my speech. Why am I here? Okay, so there is a Toast GPT suggestion also. Nice. A long pause, strange look at the audience, like as though I've already forgotten. Nice. See, we have started thinking. We have started thinking that what could be an opening. So this is what I said. This is what I did. Mahatma Gandhi once said that life is full of a contest say fellow Toastmasters and friends. And this is my problem. I keep forgetting. So that's how I begin, and then the rest of the speech goes. Okay. So we will come to the ending part, and before end, because ending is at the end, right? So let's go through how the speech development happens. It is not then about a one-liners of forgetting, right? So I'm just in a nutshell sharing what the rest of the speech is. Okay. So I have the habit of forgetting, and often what I forget is my laptop charger. So being in a profession of training, I keep traveling to different places. I conduct session. When I come back, I realize that I have lost or I have left my charger. So in fact, there was a stage where I spent more for my laptop charger than for my laptop. I spent more for my laptop charger. So this kept happening, and there was once my mom gave me an idea. She said, you write charger on your hand, on your palm. Right? So when you see that, at least then you will remember. Now, if you want to know how my mom is, some of you said you love Tom and Jerry, right? All of you have seen Tom and Jerry? Yes. So in that, they show you a lady. I mean, in fact, they don't show her face. She often comes and screams, Thomas. Now imagine a face for her. That's my mom. What is happening? A descriptive comparison. So people start, there is no face to the lady. People will start imagining a face to my mom. My mom said this, and for once I thought I will listen to her, and I decided, wrote charger on my hand, went for the next session. I finished the session. I almost forgot the charger. That's when I saw this on my hand, thanks to my mom. And for the first time, without forgetting, I carried the charger. And at that moment, I felt like I was a world champion of public speaking. Reference to Toastmasters. Right? So when I picked up the charger, I felt like I'm a world champion of public speaking. I come back home and want to thank my mom and literally wear that charger as a garland to her and thank her that, see how your idea worked. So for that, I just opened my bag to see that this time I forgot the laptop. I mean, here I just shared it in 1 minute, but then the speech goes for like almost 6.5 minutes, where at the 6th minute is where I reveal that, where it almost looks like that, yes, this guy has finally learned a lesson. He will stop forgetting. I will actually reveal that I brought the charger, but forgot the laptop. And just after I reveal that, the ending comes in where I say, this is why Mahatma Gandhi told that day itself that life is forget it. Contest said. Right. So you could see there is a loop, and at least this time, second time at the ending, they're expecting that this time, at least this guy will say the quote. I never used the quote. I mean, I never said the quote. I just said life is, and then I forget it. In fact, one more additional thing which I did was, like, let's say, Aarti is the contest chair, and let's say Subhashini is, let's say, a chief judge. Right? So finally, after saying that, forget it, and then I hand it over to, so saying that Over to you, contest chair Subhashini. And they say, oh, sorry, Aarti. So it looks like as though even I forgot that, who the contest chair was. Now, I spoke about title, right? What do you think was the title of this speech? Any guesses? Just take a wild guess. Title of the speech. I remember. I remember was the title of the speech. Now, my most favorite title is this, which I'm going to share right now. Okay. Remember the speech I spoke about abbreviations, overuse of abbreviations. All right. So the title is Don't Kiss. Later in the speech, I actually reveal what the kiss is. Kiss refers to keep it short and simple. That's what will happen later in the speech. Okay. But now, imagine how the contest chair is inviting you. I told about title winning titles, right? So I'm standing in the corner of the stage, yet to begin my speech. Let's imagine Aarti is the contest chair. I'm the next contestant. Contestant number 4, Toastmaster Joe. Don't kiss. Don't kiss, Toastmaster Joe. I haven't even started my speech. Audience are already giggling. They are already laughing. With the title itself, you will be able to get your audience attention. They will gear up sitting that, okay, so there is something exciting coming up for the next 7 minutes. So come up with a crazy title. So this speech about kiss. So this is how it happens. So contest master says this, and then I say that I go for a training program, and then there are these like fresh graduates from college for whom I'm conducting the training, where I could see that for everything they're using acronyms. So to test the knowledge, I asked them, what is GST? So immediately a participant puts up a hand and says, good night, sweet dreams, take care. So then I decide, so it doesn't work for them. I need to teach them how not to use the acronym. So the whole session goes on like how I teach them. That also has a lot of jokes. And finally, I'm just putting it in a nutshell. So finally, we come to the end of the session with a great set of satisfaction. I feel that I made a difference in them. They understood like the right usage of using the acronyms. And then I gave them the feedback form. So we're coming to the closure, or let's say the suspense and aspect of it, or the ending aspect of it. I mean, not the ending, but the closure part of it. So I gave the feedback forms, and remember the same girl who mentioned good night, sweet dreams, take care. Everybody is writing feedback. She also wrote the feedback and handed it over to me when I read. It was like this. Today, Joe taught us how to kiss. And it's the best one I have ever had. Looking for more. That was the last job for me, my last day in that job for me. How do you think my manager will understand that the kiss I referred was keep it short and simple? So then, ending there, I say that my dear Toastmasters and friends, I'm not telling that don't use acronyms. All I'm saying is at least kiss appropriately. I mean, keep it short and simple appropriately. Quick contest set. Right. So there were a couple of examples. So be joyful, have a series of one-line summaries about what could be your speeches. Have 3-4 ideas. From that, pick whatever you think is the most fitting one or most natural story for you. And remember, your purpose is to entertain your audience, have maximum jokes per minute, and keep the jokes universal. Everybody should be able to understand. Let's say I'm from South, I crack a joke about something which only people in South might understand. Even if I lose one person in my audience, it doesn't make sense. So keep it universal, something which everybody can relate to, and it should be in form of a story, and make sure that you have a wonderful title. With that, not just me, all of us can be Joe King. So with that, the theoretical part is over. What is left? I know it's almost 10, but quickly we will go through that winning speech. Now, what I am going, since I shared the screen, it was wonderful to see that there are only a couple of videos which I could see. Rest are all just names. Right? So probably next time when I meet you, you might need to have your name tag on your head, right? So that I can recognize you. Otherwise, how would I recognize that you were there in the meeting? And unfortunately, there is someone with Redmi also. Please don't put Redmi on your head. So just keep your name. So let's go through this winning video. It was 2023 district winning speech, humorous speech contest. And I'm not going to play the video entire 7 minutes at one go. We are going to pause and play. Okay. And you need to identify wherever possible. I will pitch in and also share those techniques. And that is how we will use the next couple of minutes to learn or decode whatever we learned so far. Okay. Visible? Can somebody confirm whether it's visible? Let's also check whether it's audible.
Contestant number 5.
Audible?
Joe.
Okay, perfect. So before even we begin the video, any observations right now? Whatever are your observations right now? Anything different, interesting, which you just please unmute. Since I'm sharing the video, it's kind of difficult to go to the chat box and see. So if you can just quickly unmute. Attire, okay, great. Attire is interesting because most of the speeches are delivered in, let's say, a suit, right? Medha, you can just unmute and speak. Don't need to raise your hands.
So you're
Because I
wearing
get
a,
this.
yes, you're wearing a blue hoodie with red shoes. That's quite funny for me.
Okay, blue hoodie, red shoes. Okay, good.
Your
More in-depth
stance.
observations, your stance. Okay. Anything else on the stage?
Safety shoes
Fragile
and
box.
So there is some props. You might guess that there is some props I'm going to use because there is a table, there is a box there. Okay. So great observations. In fact, when I was there sitting with the audience before I get on, I was the fifth, or I think I was the fifth speaker. So at that time itself, there was a lot of talk like, why is this guy here wearing a hoodie? Right? It's a Toastmasters contest and everybody is suited up and this guy is sitting there wearing a hoodie. There was a talk even before I got onto the stage. Okay. Now let's get into the speech, and right from the title, I want you to observe everything. Okay. So whatever we learned so far, let's go.
Contestant number 5. Joe. I like the way you are thinking. I like the way you are thinking. Contestant number 5. Joe.
What is the title?
I like the way you are
I like
thinking.
the way you are thinking.
Nice. I like the way you're thinking right now. So that is going to be the concept. You will see how it is being used in the speech. Now let's look at the opening, the first 30-45 seconds.
Indu is beautiful. Indu is wonderful. Even the smell of Indu makes me go.
Okay. So far, any jokes cracked? No, right? I'm just introducing Hindu. And probably because of a bit of actions, and you could see a bit of giggling and laughter started to happen. There is some build-up about Hindu, right? So any guesses who this Hindu is? Probably people would be thinking, right? So who this Hindu is? Who is this Hindu? Let's reveal the Hindu.
Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and friends, the full name is Indu Lekha. Hair oil.
Okay, so the Hindu was actually the Indulekha hair oil, and the use of or the power of pauses. I don't say the full name is Indulekha. You're losing a joke or a laughter moment there. So if you keenly observe again, you know.
Makes me go. Contest chair, fellow Toastmasters and friends, the full name is Indu Lekha.
Okay. Now the joke was one, Indulekha, right? That is what I am referring to. So far I was telling Indu, and then later I revealed that actually it is Indulekha hair oil. One joke, but you can see how, remember earlier I mentioned about jokes versus laughter moments. Joke is one, but I am having two laughter moments. How? Look at the usage of hoodie. 2 days before the contest, I was still not sure what to wear because it was announced that it's a traditional attire day on day one. This was on day one. So I was not sure what to wear. But this idea clicked me later, and then I wore the hoodie, and the hoodie was a part of the speech. You will see here. When I'm saying hair oil with the right hand,
Hair oil.
I put the hoodie down and reveal my bold and beautiful head. And I didn't crack any joke. I just put the hoodie down, showcase my head. And when I say hair oil, there is one more laughter. One joke, multiple laughter moments. Close to around 5 to 6 seconds of laughter. I'm not speaking, right?
Indulekha, Dhatri, Patanjali.
So I'm talking about different oils I've been using. Indulekha, Dhatri, Patanjali. Any guesses? What's next? Give it a try. Indulekha, Dhatri, Patanjali.
Sunflower oil.
Vatika.
Good try, good try. So
Even
Hair
crude oil.
crude
I've
oil.
tried everything on my head. The chances of me growing hair is like the chances of RCB winning an IPL trophy.
Universal jokes, right? Everybody will be able to relate.
I can see all the women in the room wondering, what is this hair you're talking? Women want curly hair, bouncy hair, lengthy hair.
8 years back, I would have never done this. I would have just said, women got curly hair, bouncy hair, that's it. But every Toastmasters meeting, I pushed myself. It was not my natural style. I pushed myself, practiced it, and that is how I delivered, or I could even try this much of a dramatics. Okay? So any women in the room will be able to relate to this when I say curly hair, bouncy hair, lengthy hair.
All men need is hair.
This was part of the script. Now, sometimes you got to be a little impromptu also. I mean, of course, I will not advise it to everyone if you're comfortable with that. But this was not, the next step was not part of the script actually. Luckily for me, the timers, both the timers sitting right in front of the audience, just next to the stage, were bald.
Hi, timers.
That was impromptu. I just said hi, timers, they laughed.
I am so stressed that even on a traditional attire day at office,
That was a traditional attire day there, and in that event, I used that even on a traditional attire day, I wear hoodie. So I'm using hoodie as a part of the speech itself.
I go wearing a hoodie so that I can hide my weakness. It was one such day in office. To de-stress myself, I was watching Sunny's videos. Sunny is wonderful. And that too, that perfect straight drive of Sunil Gavaskar.
I just said Sunny. I didn't mention which Sunny, right? So later I revealed it was Sunil Gavaskar.
But
So actual joke is to
like
reveal
the way
that it
you're
was not
thinking.
actually the Sunny which you thought, but it is actually Sunny Sunil Gavaskar. There was a bit of laughter, but later when I said, but I like the way you're thinking, there is more laughter. It kind of sets, like every time when I say that I like the way you're thinking, there will be an additional laughter. So more laughter moments.
That's when I saw there was an email from my boss about one of my team member, Hari. Thanks to autocorrect, wherever it was supposed to be Hari, it got changed to hair. And the mail goes like this. Hi Joe, I would like to talk to you about hair. These days, I'm highly disappointed with hair. Most of the time, I see hair either in the restroom or in the cafeteria. I don't know what you do, but this year, I want you to develop hair like Priya
All the
Farke.
Priyas, Nehas in the room right now. don't take it personally. They're just a random and again a universal names which I've taken which people can relate to.
Bhaskar. That's the name of my boss. But I still like the way you're thinking. Listening to my scream, Priya came running to my cabin. Now, Priya is beautiful.
Now, did you observe a trend? Wherever I'm introducing or talking about a girl, right? This comes in. Indu initially was beautiful, wonderful, and then later when it was Sunny, beautiful, wonderful, and then now Priya.
Priya is wonderful. And she has long hair. Priya came to my cabin and said, "Hi, Joe. What happened? You look so stressed. Would you like to?"
This was a moment where I almost got distracted because there were a couple of photographers who came running close to me, close to the stage to click the close-up pictures. They literally distracted me.
Join me tonight for a club. But I still like the way you're thinking. Priya
No, Priya has asked me out. She has asked me to join her to a club.
asking me out. I could feel that there was love in the air. Love in the air.
The wordplay I was referring to, right? Love in the hair, and then I say, no, actually love in the air.
The rest of the day, I was thinking only about this. The DJ, the lights, I was even practicing my dance moves. And finally, the moment arrived. Priya and I reached the venue. As we walked into the venue, there was somebody announcing, "Good evening, everyone. We will begin in the next 30 seconds. And everybody started clapping. Oh, hey. Not just that, they were clapping for the rest of the time. It was a Toastmasters club meeting. See, I told you they clap for everything.
This wasn't actually part of the script. I said Toastmasters will clap for everything. They clap. So I mentioned one more line that, see, I told you that they will clap for everything. They clapped again.
Priya, the Toastmaster of the day, said, "Today we have a special segment. We are going to learn from a champion speaker." And she plays the video. It was 2014 World Champion of Public Speaking, Dhananjaya Hettirache. With the speech title, "I see something in you, but I don't know what it is." I saw something in him.
I didn't even say what it was.
I like the way you're thinking. I almost gave up on Toastmasters, and that's when Neha, a Toastmaster sitting next to me, said, "Hi, you have a nice hairstyle." Hairstyle? That was the moment I realized Toastmasters are filled with so much of positivity.
To look at this, even this as a hairstyle.
I immediately signed up for Toastmasters and I set a dream for myself. In the next 6 to 7 years, I will be like Dhananjaya Hettirache. I will win a district championship. My dear friends, I'm happy to tell you that this year, at least one dream is coming true. Yes, I'm completing 7 years. But I still like the way you're thinking.
This was almost like a peak moment where I had to literally tell them stop laughing so that I can continue. I was in a fear that I might overshoot the time.
Often we overthink.
We kept asking, right? So whether there should be a message in a speech. There can be a message, but don't spend more than 20-30 seconds. Here is the message. I'm talking about entire speech is almost done, but I'm giving a message. The message is that often we overthink, and that is the reason for our stress. Don't overthink, instead, just think positively. That's it. Hardly 20 seconds.
Often We overthink so much, and that is the reason for stress. Instead, if you think positive, even a weakness could be a strength. All the
And even in that message, you can inject some humor.
money I saved from buying shampoo, spa, I could buy the registration for Crescendo 125. And did
That
you
was
guys
the-
see the poster, Crescendo 125? Why Deepak Justin is invited as a chief guest?
Deepak Justin was one of the keynote speakers, and he is also bald.
What? Because he's a champion speaker. But I still like the way you're thinking. Contest share.
Okay, so that comes to the end of the speech. Of course, we have overshooted a couple 10 minutes also. Okay, so hope you got a practical exposure also of whatever techniques which we just spoke, and that is just with one concepts. I'm sure all of you could think of such concepts and never be satisfied with your first version of your speech. Rewrite, rewrite, rewrite. In fact, in my original script, the actual line was, it was a hair-raising moment when Priya asked me out, right? So it was a hair-raising moment. But I thought it was not so good, or maybe I have used it multiple times earlier also. Then I just 1 hour before the contest, before getting onto the stage, I changed it to it was love in the hair, and then I say love in air, right? So keep rewriting your speech and keep practicing, and your only purpose is to entertain your audience. Remember that. That's it. Okay. So if you have time, I know it's already 10:10, but if you have time, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. You can ask whatever question you want. I will answer whatever I know. Just okay.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you so much. The platform is open for all of us to pour in our questions. Please unmute yourself and do bombard Joey, or you can do write in the chat.
Unmuting and speak would make it faster. Chat, you'll have to type and then post. I'll have to read. No questions. There are only 2 occasions when people don't have questions. 1, if they've understood everything. 2, if they have not understood anything. So I'm hoping it is first and one. Okay, I guess.
Thank you, Lidiam. Thank you, Lidiam Joe, for the wonderful session, and especially that take on the jury part like that at the last moment. I think you detailed about your speech. If you just share the display or share the video, that wouldn't be that much make me impactful. But every step you made impact and explaining us what it is that was fun, and as well as it was a great learning. Thank you so much for detailing your speech and giving us the knowledge. It was a great session.
Similarly, you could detail your speech also. Like when I practiced, when I worked on the script, I was even looking at when you're rehearsing the number of laughter moments per minute, right? So that is what I was looking at. And later, after the speech, I did that exercise again. And remember, I said your speech should be just 6 minutes, 30 seconds only, not 7 minutes. So my actual speech was 7 minutes. I cut down it to 6 minutes, 30 seconds. But today, what you watch right now, if you see that it is almost 7 minutes and 10 seconds, which means for around 40 seconds, it was only laughter. There is no speech.
Good evening, Joe.
Good evening. Who's this?
It was a wonderful session. I enjoyed every part of it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to know, so if you are giving a humorous speech, so can we have multiple examples, or 2 or 3 would be fine for the entire 6 minutes?
If you look at the speech which you just heard, there were multiple incidents, right? I was there in office, and then Hari comes in, and then my boss sends a mail, and then I go out with Priya, and then a lot of things is happening. It's okay to have multiple incidents, but you'll have to weave it all together as one story. Okay. It's not like some random things happening here and there. You got to, like, if you look at the transitions also, it's like I'm watching Sunny's video. That's when I'm getting a mail. What is the mail about? Hari. As I'm talking about Hari, I scream Bhaskar. Hearing the scream, Priya comes running. Then Priya asks me also to go to the club. And the club is actually a Toastmasters club. There I see the video, which is of Dhananjaya. So it is like Though the series of things, it will all sound for the audience as just one single story. That is it.
Connecting one to another.
Correct, correct. You'll have to transition in a way and weave it together as one single story.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
This is Dharmesh Joshi here. I just
Hi
wanted to ask you, I just wanted to ask you a question that you must have seen the various humorous speeches when you contested. And so, is there a particular number of jokes? I mean, say 7 or 8 or minimum number of jokes you will feel that that should be there to consider as a humorous speech?
No particular numbers, but as I said, the number of not the jokes, number of laughter moments. When I say laughter moments, you might just have one joke in your first sentence, but because of your action or because of a couple of things which you do, let's say with your expressions or with your attire, right? There could be 2 to 3 laughter moments. So think of laughter moments than just the jokes. Jokes, yes, in the part of the script. As I said earlier, plays it like there are enough jokes every minute. Break it into that 6 minutes. Opening is 30 seconds, ending is 30 seconds. And you would need around 30 seconds for the message. So 1 minute, 30 seconds is over. What you get is a solid 5 minutes for your core story. So that 5 minutes of a story, break it into 1 minute each and have enough jokes in each minute. That is how you'll have to place it.
Okay.
And Joe, suppose if we, hi Joe, I'm Sonia.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Suppose if we leave if we pause for a minute, for few seconds and there is no laughter over there, then sometimes, when we joke and it doesn't work and we pause so that the so that it can
No,
resist.
you don't pause when there is no laughter. The pausing happens when when you're going to share just that key word in that sentence, that's when you pause. When they are laughing, you will intentionally pause to give them the time to laugh, enjoy, right? So you would have seen that in the speech also. There are moments where I don't speak, I don't continue. I wait for them to complete their laughter and then I continue. The question which you asked is, what if there is no laughter? So you can just continue. So what happens is sometimes in the same speech, there are jokes which might click, which jokes might not click. It's okay. As I said, your purpose is to just entertain. Remember this, even it has happened to me. It's not like overnight or the first speech itself, I became the district champion. No, there are speeches which I have delivered where the whole speech has fallen flat, or maybe some jokes of the speech have fallen flat. But I have always enjoyed that 7 minutes on the stage. That is critical. Always remember this, there can be winning or losing speeches, but that doesn't make you a losing speaker. That is the difference. It can be a losing speech. You'll have to just work on a different script, right? Or maybe make the script much better. Losing a speech versus losing a speaker is different. You're not a losing speaker. The speech didn't win. So you'll have to just work on better jokes.
Yes, Akarshak has raised his hand.
Yeah, hi Joe. This is Akarshak. 3 small questions.
Wow. 3 small questions,
yes. Yeah. So the first is that even after you have prepared and practiced the humor in your speech, you tend to, on the spot, you tend to get a little bit emotional. So how do you avoid doing that? Any tips on that? Second, tips on how to deal with self-deprecating humor, like how not to go overboard. And third, basically, I just wanted to know that, sorry, I forgot the question. Yeah, how do you
maybe impact of my speech about forgetting, I guess.
Would you recommend laughing on your own jokes while you are delivering the speech?
Okay, so let's go in the reverse order. Laughing for your own jokes, no, don't do that. Just if you see in my speech, throughout the speech, I would have kept such a straight face that it would look like, is this the same guy who's actually cracking the jokes, right? So let them laugh. So it's like the same thing. Like when you're sharing an emotional story, you shouldn't be crying. The audience should cry. That same thing applies for jokes also. Like when you crack the jokes, let them joke. You don't laugh for your own joke. Going overboard with making fun at yourself, right? So nobody will get offended. So if you are comfortable with that, if you want to if you don't want to share something, which is up to you, right? So, but if you want to say that this is something I'm comfortable cracking a joke about myself, it's up to you. It's your comfort level. There is nothing as going overboard on that. Whatever is comfort levels for you. And how to control the emotion, that is something which probably will have to explain a little more. Like in a humorous speech, I don't know what is emotion. So only emotion there is to entertain the audience. That is the only emotion I can think of on the stage.
No, like
The only
something
emotion
while you're delivering, you might think of something on the spot and you would like to experiment.
So remember the first thing which I mentioned, on the stage, the only thought you should have is to entertain my audience. Nothing else. Don't think of anything else. Don't think of the trophy. The trophy will eventually come to you. 7 minutes, your target should be to make sure that everybody sitting there is actually laughing, bursting into laughter. That's the only thought you will have to have. And even if, let's say, it fell flat, they didn't laugh, you enjoy the 7 minutes. Don't think of winning. Don't get emotional. The only emotion running there should be to entertain the audience.
Thank you.
Next, we have Bhagesh is raising.
Hi,
his hand. Bhagesh is there.
Yes. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Bhagesh.
Yes, I want to ask that, like I am practicing some of the techniques like self-depreciation humor and imaginative humor, like you said, RCB joke, so that, but most of the time I end up doing the cringy things. Like I want to add humor, but when I look forward after I have delivered it, I find it cringy. So, what suggestion will you like to give to me, so that the humor just prevailed to the audience?
Probably it's sounding cringy because it is overused, or probably like the similar jokes are very common. So go for fresh new jokes. Right? Like how I shared about jokes about Toastmasters, jokes about Toastmasters. These are fresh new, like nobody would have heard it. It will never sound cringy. Like getting married is like having a general evaluated for your life.
Yep,
It
okay.
will never
Thank
sound
you.
cringy. You will never find these jokes anywhere, right? So it will be fresh, new.
Hi, Joe. This is Manish.
Manish.
Yeah.
We'll ask
Joe,
two questions, one Manish and Subhashini.
yes, Joe, actually, see, what happened is when we crack joke in our own language, in our local language, like in Punjabi or in Haryanvi, so I can crack in a good way. But how to, do that practice to speak and crack the joke in English? When you were speaking, it was like you were speaking English, but you have practiced in such a way that it is your own language. So how you did that practice?
Great. So great observation. And in fact, it comes naturally, right? So our, let's say our mother tongue, or let's say our regional language comes naturally to us, right? So that is where we'll be comfortable. It will be easier for us to crack the joke. So probably what you could do when you're practicing, it's like a conversation, right? When you're doing the rehearsal, though it's not a literal translation of it, let it, when you're practicing this, let it in your mind, let it run like a conversation, like as though you're talking to someone about this. So the thoughts are running in your mind in your mother tongue or in your regional language. Just that when you write the script, it's in English. The idea is in your mother tongue, right? You write it in English. You translate that, or not translate, I would say, but the thought, the ideas. So you'll be your own natural way. And then just convert that into a closest English form. And when you deliver, of course, like you can be even just like how you deliver a speech in your mother tongue, you can do the same way in terms of your delivery. The tone you use, the body language you use can be like in a natural way in which you speak. That is a trick you can actually use. So think in your regional language and convert that into English.
Okay, thank you very much. And the second is what I could see is all your jokes you have made by yourself, but those jokes which we cracked in our colleges or in our organizations, those kind of things were not there. So if we use that, so what is the chances of success?
Again, it would get to the point. If you remember the judges ballot, original thought, original story, it will get into there. If it was like, if it's a speech where too much jokes are like all the WhatsApp jokes and what is available everywhere in internet, or which everybody knows already, it will not be considered as a original speech. Also, the challenge is that people would have already heard this joke, so they might not laugh. It's like they know this joke already. There is no suspense there. There's no they will know that they joke already. So that's the reason you got to write fresh. That is the real challenge. Delivering the speech is actually kind of easy. So writing the script with that original thought, original jokes, that is what is more critical. That is where you'll have to spend more time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hi, Joe. This is
Yes,
Subhashini.
Subhashini.
Amazing session. And my question is sarcasm comes under humor? If so, if the audience doesn't decipher the sarcastic comment, how do we go about it?
Comes to the same topic again of the sarcasm on whom. If you're referring to the audience, it might be offending. If it is something on yourself, it could be fun. So if you look at this speech, though it wasn't a sarcasm, so if you look at it, I would have told that Toastmasters clap for everything, right? So actually they enjoyed it and they clap. It is actually sarcasm, right? Even for anything they clap. That's what I said. They clap for that. And once more I said, like, see, I told you that they clap for everything. They enjoyed that also. They clap again. So it is like how even if it's a sarcasm, it should look like as though you're appreciating them. So that is how it should look like.
Thank you
should
so
sound
much,
positive.
Joe. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope all our queries are resolved. If so, do get in touch with Akshay or us. So we will give it to Joe and he will resolve the queries. Can we have one group picture, please? So I request everybody to switch on the video. If we could just have one group picture.
As we're clicking this picture, I have a query for all of you.
Yes.
How many of you are going to contest in the humorous speech contest?
Good question. And there are raise of hands there.
Nice. Good to see a lot of hands because that is the biggest achievement of this session. It's not about, and why I enjoy humorous speech sessions is because humorous speech contest is only 7 minutes. Humorous speech education sessions, I can actually, or in fact, you can also listen to a longer extended version of a humorous speech than just 7 minutes.
Can we have more of the others videos on? Jamie, Vijay2, Rita, Sunish, Brinda, Karthik, Girish, Nirav. As in when I asked everybody to video on their videos, they all left.
Let's have some reactions. We'll quickly capture the snapshot.
Yes.
Everyone smile for at least a minute so that we can capture properly. 3, 2, 1. We are beginning with yes.
Thank you, Joe. We also would like to facilitate you with this moment, a small momentum from us. Thank you for being there as a speaker, as a trainer for us today, and helping us get back to the humorous speech contest that we're having it after 2 long years. Thank you so much.
Definitely a hair-raising moment for just so. Thank
Joe
you. Thank you
and
so much,
Aarti, you
Aarti.
can yes, start.
Hello, good evening. This is Jamie here. I'm sorry I joined the session a little late. So can I request to know Joe belongs to which club?
So my home club is Backpackers Toastmasters Club, part of District 125.
Okay. It's based in which area?
It's a virtual club, so it's based in Pune, but it's a virtual club. We have members from across India.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Joe, could you share it with your video YouTube link of your speech?
That video, right? I'll share it with Aarti. Aarti probably can share it. Okay.